Temurah Daf Zayin. Just like we said, there's an Issa Deraisa to designate a blemished animal for the Mizbeach and be makriv it is another Issa Deraisa. There's an Issa Deraisa according to Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda, to just receive the blood. Kabbalah Saddam is also another Issa Deraisa because there's a pasuk that says Leis Akrivu. Chacham say that pasuk Leis Akrivu comes to tell us another halacha, that a guy, although he's permitted to bring an animal that's missing a complete limb on his own personal bama, but if a guy brings such an animal to the Mizbeach, to the Beis Hamikdash, we cannot receive it. There's another pasuk, another Leis Akrivu. You can't learn from there the Isser of Kabbalah Saddam, because that we need either according to one lashon that comes to tell us the Isser they not allowed to do zrika with the blood of a balmum, or according to the other lashon that teaches us that there's an Isser on a private bama. If somebody has a Mizbeach in his backyard in the time that was mutter, it's also to bring a balmum. The Gemara had a havamina that the whole concept of the Isser to bring a blemished animal is only if the animal developed this blemish later on in his life. But if the animal is born with a blemish, perhaps it should be mutter to bring such an animal. Why? Because it's similar to a tree. A tree was never roy for the Mizbeach, and if you put a tree on the Mizbeach, you're not going to get malchus. This animal also never had a shasa kaisher. Perhaps you're allowed to bring it onto the Mizbeach. And the Gemara says no, because the Torah says serua v'kolot, an animal that one's limb is larger than the other, or its hooves are not split. That's something that he's born with, didn't develop on later in life, yet it's also to bring to the Mizbeach. Perhaps, says the Gemara, maybe the whole Isser of bringing a blemished animal is when you do it as a Temurah. You say, this blemished animal should be instead of this unblemished animal. Says the Gemara, that can't be, because we learned the other day, Rabbi Yani says that if somebody brings a blemished animal on to the Mizbeach, he could be over on 5 lavim. If it's a Temurah, he should be over on a 6th lav called Temurah. Why is it that if you have a blemished animal that was born like that, you can't bring it on Mizbeach? Why is it any different than a tree? Says the Gemara, because yesh b'minoi lemizbeach. In other words, since there are animals just like him that you bring onto Mizbeach, and this one is blemished, so that is an embarrassment, a disgrace to the Mizbeach, because you are taking something that shouldn't go on the Mizbeach rather than exchanging it for the exact same species, type, and putting that on the Mizbeach. And therefore, says Rava, let's take it one step further. If a person takes this blemished animal and he designates it so that the Beis Hamikdash could buy wine for the Mizbeach, that's also Issa D'Oraisa. However, Rebbe says no. He learns from a pasuk that it's only something that you're magdish, that it itself, the carbon itself, which its body, it itself gives you a kapara, but not nesachim, wine. The Torah says, Sorua v'kalut, these are blemishes, nidava tasoisoi, you should use that for bedek habayis, tasoisoi is bedek habayis, ulenei de lo yiratza, but it's not good for a kapara for the Mizbeach. The Gemara takes the words nidava and neder and puts them together in 2 categories. The neder and nidava are good for the bedek habayis, meaning a neder, meaning somebody says, I want to bring a animal, not a specific one, to bedek habayis. Nidava is this specific one, and then the Gemara takes those 2 words, nidava and neder, on the second part of the pasuk, that they are both no good for the Mizbeach. When the Torah says oisai, it tells us that you take this animal, the balmum, and not a pure animal, a healthy animal that doesn't have a mum. Animal that doesn't have a mum, you're not allowed to designate for bedek habayis. And says the Gemara, leimor, vaydaber Hashem el Moshe leimor. From the word leimor, it means loy emor. In other words, you're over on a lav if you bring a balmum, a tamim, a non-blemished animal for the Mizbeach. The question is, the Torah says, vaydaber Hashem el Moshe leimor, many, many times. Who knows, maybe in the hundreds. So why is this leimor any different? Taisus points out that this is a lav habo miklal asay. It's not really a true lav, it's more of an asay, and we learn from that lav, so therefore the leimor gives us a lav. I saw a beautiful pshat from, I believe it was the Carbon Aron, that says, since the following pasuk says, Daber el Aron vel bnei Yisrael va'amarta aleihem, so the Torah repeats itself. It says va'amarta aleihem. So the leimor in the pasuk before is completely extra Therefore, I learned from that lemar that it's a lav, whereas in all other lemars in the Torah are not lavim. If somebody takes the limbs of an animal and puts it on the mizbeach, according to Rava, you're over on two lavim. One lav because you brought a whole animal onto the mizbeach, and another lav because you brought part of the animal on the mizbeach. Says Abaya, that's lav shebeklalis. You're learning two lavim from one source, and therefore you could only be over on one. The big problem with that is that we said that a person is over on 5 lavim. According to Abaya, you only have 4. And don't tell me that Abaya is counting Rabbi Yehuda's lav of Kabbalas Adam because it goes according to the Tanna Kama. Says the Mishnah that only an owner of an animal could do Temurah. A kohen could do Temurah on his own private animals, but he cannot do Temurah on a Yisrael's Oshem and Chatas that were given to him later on, because that he got it in as imurim and not as his own personal carbon. According to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, a kohen could do Temurah on a bechar because he got it in the state of when the animal is still alive. Rabbi Kiva says no. He learns who Temurasa Yekaidesh, that just like the Kedusha of Temurah is chal in the house of the Yisrael, so therefore only the Yisrael could create a Temurah and not a kohen. According to everybody, in our days, you could sell a bechar even if he's healthy without a mum and alive, and if he has a mum, even if he's not alive. To sell a bechar that's healthy in the time of Hamikdash, according to Rav Nachman, it's asur, because the kohen doesn't have a schi in it, he doesn't own anything, just from the time of the imurim on. And to sell a bechar, a healthy bechar that is shechted, according to everybody, it's asur even in time of Hamikdash, because it's a bizayon for kachim to sell something that you were makriv for the mizbeach, and if you shechted it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, then it's completely asur b'hana. Have a wonderful day.